good evening. Although it might not be evening for all of you. So in which case, good day or good night, good morning. Maybe you should go to bed. Maybe you should stay up. I'll leave that up to you. We're back to, we've played the first two matches with this list. The notes about this list being different. Decent amount of changes to sideboard with the Spell Pierces instead, and the Floodmaw, and we moved a Scream to the main, a Pack to the sideboard. We're playing both Commandeer sideboard. We're playing 2 Force Negations. We've cut Consigns and most of our a Dispute, as well as Spell Snares, which could be incorrect. We are trying one more untapped land. We cut down on our tapped land sources. We have a non-blue source now, which might make our words worse, but hasn't come up yet. We're on more Waterlogged Teachings. We've cut Jawaris completely in order to keep the Baying Veils, and then we're playing the 1 Scream main instead of Pact, and then the 2 Harbingers main in our flex spots. So those are the notes, and we'll jump right in. Hoping with some fast play here to get all 3 matches in this video, but we'll see how it goes. Hopefully don't have to face more Lantern Control and a bunch of blue matchups. I have not played against a single energy prowess burn deck. Any red decks. I mean, the only red deck I faced was the Shifting Omniscience deck in the past 3 leagues now. So feels like a big shift online, and I mean, in some ways it's better, in some ways it's worse. The blue matchups are a little more tedious. The energy ones are at least quick, but let's make this taskbar go away. Doesn't make much of a difference. Well, usually the queue pops within the first like 20 seconds or so. Currently have over 1,200 active players, but just a reminder, if you're watching, if you've been enjoying my content, like, subscribe, you know. It's interesting, everyone says that in their videos, and I always hear it, but I guess, you know, as humans, we don't think to do that unless we're reminded. Because I was like, I don't like and subscribe all the time. But if nothing else, it encourages me to keep doing this. I don't know that I'll ever monetize this channel or whatever, but I am having fun pretending to be a gamer. Mostly just being a dad with very little time. But it doesn't really cost me that much extra to just do audio over what I'm playing. There's only been a few times where talking about all the decisions I'm making, you know, bogs me down or distracts me from the game. So I hope it's helpful. It seems from the feedback I'm getting that people appreciate walking through all the decisions, and this is a very decision-heavy deck. I do think by next, I think I'm going to jump to another deck for a league or two, but we'll see. You know, I don't know how much Blue Belcher content people want. You know, the deck isn't changing drastically. So maybe after this league, we might rotate through a couple other decks before we get to the next band announcement. We get to be on the play. We're against Degenerate 13. Let's see, our first 7. It's close, actually. You know, on first glance, we don't have a combo piece and we only have 2 lands, but the Archaeologist and Trainer really do smooth out a draw well, and Flare's great, and Tameshi's great. I guess wish this pack was a whir. I think I'm going to keep, again, this I don't know, this deck likes card density. But no, I'm going to mulligan. We'll hopefully get a good 6 here. They kept 7. Well, fairly similar. 6, except now I think we have to keep the 3 lands, Tameshi Archaeologist, and ditch one of our counter spells. I'll keep the Flare. I think on average it's better, but it's worse if we want Philology to be a blocker and don't want to sacrifice it, but need to. I guess we'll lead on Veil, because since we saw Devourer, not going to be a deck where Veil is a fog, and we might, you know, if we draw a Lotus Bloom next turn, which we have a lot of looks at, we might be able to make a bunch of mana with Tameshi and went with the teachings. He did not take a Mycospawn or map. Interesting. We have a temple, no play. Obviously, sowing Mycospawn is a big pain to face. Our shoals are not going to be very good in this matchup, so pretty easy choice there. We can't take that land, which is awkward, but I guess we're hoping to set up for a big Tameshi turn. Hopefully we can draw another land next turn so we can save the teachings, or hopefully we just hit a Whir or a Belcher. Talisman, okay. They have 2, 4, 5 mana. They're almost able to cast a Devour at this point. We're obviously not going to flare on this Talisman. We're waiting. But they're not the Breach build. They're the... what's it called? Ramp build. We got a Whir. It's not the worst. Problem is we didn't get this down to turn 2, so we have to survive a bit here. I think no matter what, we're just going to cast this. We can't cast Tameshi this turn. We did hit another land, and it's a white land, which is nice. So we will take that. So we're going to try to Tameshi next turn. Then, which is our turn 4. So then on our turn 5, we can make a bunch of mana with Bloom and win. So we got to survive 2 turns and only have 1 counterspell against the Eldrazi ramp list. Should be interesting. Oh, sorry. You don't need to see that. Should have been on the other side. My bad. I was going to pull up Eldrazi ramp. I was going to say I thought it was green-red typically. So this is not the typical lineup. I don't know what our opponent kept or grabbed off of this, because they played 3 lands and 2 talismans. Not the best draw, not the worst. I think we just go with Tameshi and a tap land here. There's not really a reason to keep this at this point with the Whir. So now we want to survive 1 turn. We're also in a place now where like sowing Mycospawn kicked doesn't take us off a win, which is nice. Let's see, they usually play World Breakers, Mycospawns, Emrakul the Promised End. Is he close to that? He has nothing in the graveyard. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No. But something big is coming down. If it's a World Breaker, is it just Devour? Seems like a lot of work just to... He can Devour Tameshi, which means we can't kill him next turn. And that is the one thing that like Flare doesn't actually like protect us from everything because they have so many cast triggers, which is obnoxious. Yeah. Makes sense. So we can expect Veil of Summers out of the sideboard as well as Trinisphere's Stone Rains. Interesting. Do we want to counter this big 6/6? I think we just let it hit. We have to survive another turn. We're pretty high life here. Yes, cast it, please. We didn't draw our Belcher there. So we can play this. We actually have 2 counterspells now. We just get to Whir for X equals 4. We can Chump Block plus Flare and Pact. So I don't know what could kill us here. They have another Temple. 2, 4, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. They could Ceaseless Ulamog the Ceaseless Hunger us. But in response, would I still have... I'd still have 3 lands left. So I think we're in the clear. Because I don't think Emrakul the Promised Land can come down, and that's the only thing that would like end it for us. I think I'm fine chump blocking. I don't know what else they could have up their sleeve. I still have Flare plus Pact up, but just in case. We have 2 creatures out, might as well. What are they doing? Okay, Expedition Map. Great. Really confused what my opponent kept. They have not. They've cast 1 spell, and it was the first thing they... Okay, some big Eldrazi. Another Devourer? Another Devourer. I guess in response, we'll just sack it. And then, since he has no mana left... Now's the time and the place to go ahead, and I wish that it would just automatically use this. Get our Belcher. Pass to our turn. Boom, boom, boom. Okay. The other thing is, like, does this list, do they typically play Karns? I don't think so. Again, he's not the typical list because he's playing, maybe he's just mono green, but the black is for dismembers are often. And I did see a Tron land, so actually this is Eldrazi Tron. That's what I was looking at, the wrong one. Yeah, expedition map, One Rings, cookbooks. Why is he playing cookbooks? Because the Urza Saga can get cookbook, which can discard things to make your Emrakul. Oh, this guy's playing the Madness Emrakul. This looks like a Karn list. It's probably a Karn list. Those of you who've been playing a lot more Magic Online are like, well, duh, Jimothy. We knew it was a Karn list the whole time. So Karn list, we want to first bring in 2 of these, take out one of those. For sure. It's good that we're playing more teachings, because that makes our shoals a little better. Debating whether or not to keep them in, though, honestly. I think Spell Pierces are still worth it. I want our Harbingers, for sure. Don't think Unable to Screams are worth it. Force Negations are worth it. Probably want this. Do we want a Portable Hull? What are they typically playing in the sideboard? Well, it's just they got Trinispheres, Chalices, they got a Karn board. But they probably bring the Crypt in, because they can go get that with Urza Saga. They could have Stone Brains. Our packs and shoals aren't great. We need to have answers to Karn. This gives us answers. This is our flexible answer to any permanent hate. We want Harbingers for sure. Our Flares maybe aren't always great. We don't want this Unable to Scream. So we'll bring back in one Pact, one Flare. Let's run it like this, see how it looks. I forgot to look. Does my sideboard guide have Tron? I don't think it does. I don't know if I faced Tron in a long time. Full disclosure, my sideboard guide is based off of people who have a lot more experience with the deck, who are, grinding challenges every week. I just don't have the time to do challenges. Everything you're seeing me is the amount that I get to play. Eldrazi Ramp is on here, where we cut a Tameshi, 2 Bloom, 2 Pact, and a Shoal. That makes sense. Yeah, I don't have Eldrazi Tron. Okay. 2 lands, they're both untapped. It's very similar to 7 we had last time, but we have a win con. And I do have an answer to Karn. I think it's keepable. We'll see. He had Devour again. Let's watch what gets exiled here on his first turn. I was playing Eldrazi Ramp for a while. Sorry, well actually I played all the Eldrazi decks. I played the Through the Reach, I played Ramp. But I was playing Eldrazi Aggro. You'll see some of those on my channel. A month ago, 2 months ago. 2 Temples and a Dust, interesting. And a lot of fun. A lot of fun with it. Is he playing 7 drops? I took out all my shoals, so actually that's not really a consideration, right? I took them all out. So, yeah, we'll just play this one out. Tapped. Pass. We'll see if he brought in... I don't know why I said Tormod's Crib. I was thinking we were using the graveyard. So he brought in Needle. Obviously that's an option, but I assume it's probably just getting like map or something. He exiled that with the Lugan's Lab. Force is a nice pickup. Probably pitch this Pact. We're gonna go ahead and we'll do the Trainer first. It digs a little deeper. On the weird off chance he has something like surgical, I don't want to put stuff in the graveyard until I have to. I'd be surprised. I'm just curious what our opponent's list is. Talismans feel more like ramp. Yeah, okay, make your construct. That seems good. Oh, we missed our Harbinger. That's a bummer. I guess we go ahead and get Belcher. This sets us up for... We have only one more untapped land. Dang, we're close. So I can go turn 3 Whir for Lotus, but I need another untapped land to get the win the following turn. But yeah, I think we take it. If we don't draw an untapped land next turn, I'll Philology to try to find any land, tapped or untapped, and play it, and then I'll have the untapped land for the turn following. I can just cast it instead. But if we draw the untapped land, we can go Whir into Belcher and win. Assuming this doesn't just go get a needle, which means we have to, spend our sink in the stupor to bounce it. Or I guess I can't Whir for Portable Hole. I left it in the sideboard. Probably should have brought that in. What are we seeing here? We're making another construct. So he's going to try to go aggro-y, which makes sense. He needs a clock against us. Got a map. Played a mine. Okay. Definitely take 3. When we're going to chump, we want to chump for the most life possible. And this could go up to, 5 or 6 or 7. And so we want to chump then, not chump now. No spells to counter. We did draw land, but it is tapped. What do we want to do here? I'm still inclined with the free counter magic we have. There's some part of me that just wants to play this untapped and set up to Whir for Lotus on their end step and possibly win next turn with any untapped land. I mean, we have the white one, we have 3 more of these, 3 more of these, 3 more of these. We have quite a few. We have 10 draws. If we don't draw it, then the question is, do we still just pop the Lotus to play Belcher next turn? The other option is we just play Teachings, cast the Archaeologist, digging for, more interaction, I guess. And hold on to the stupor, and then delay a turn to do that anyways. I think I'm going to make the more aggressive play here. I like being more aggressive. I know I burned some time there talking, but going through the thoughts there. The other thing is, can I afford to take 6 this turn if I don't draw that untapped land? Probably not. So I just trust force plus force to be enough. Is it 3, possibly 4 mana? We'll take 6, I guess. Which means I can't bolt myself and pass the turn, but if I bolt myself, we're winning, so at least that's the thought. Yeah, sure, have another talisman. Really? What is this deck doing? I'm so confused. Okay, well, do you get your land, I'll go get my thing. We'll see who wins. Okay, let's draw our untapped land and go to 2 and win. If we don't draw the untapped land, we have to play out another blocker, play the tap land, hold up interaction, and then next turn win is the idea. So. Well, it's taking a long time here. Temple. Okay, so we're not going for Tron. Got our land drop. Well done. You did it. And wow. See? See? This is how you play Magic. That's how you win games. You just always draw the card you need, and it's that easy. Oh, he didn't let me shoot him. GG's opponent. I'm very confused as to the cards my opponent kept. I feel like you need to mulligan more aggressively in that deck than whatever they kept, because they did not interact with us at all. Even game 2, when they knew what we were playing. So, yeah, we keep this. Keep this in the dark for sure. Blue Tameshi is basically always a keep if you can for sure cast turn 3 Tameshi, which we can. And having the white land makes it even better. Obviously, right now we don't have a win con, but we have a lot of good draws, and if we draw other lands, we can hold on to teachings to be a roundabout win con. And, our opponent was very unknown, so having, a potentially fast hand is good. Shock, Steam Vents, Preordained, so could be some sort of weird Prowler strategy, but most likely Jeskai control. They topped bottomed, so the jig is up as far as like they probably know exactly what deck we are when we play this, but that means we play this out now, so we get the turn 3 Tameshi for sure. Obviously we could bolt to get Trainer, but I think we're just gonna go try to execute our main game plan here. Another Preordain. There's some precedent to leading on Thunder Trap to hold up Flare as protection for Tameshi, but opponent is spending their mana aggressively. Yeah, I think they're more of a prowess or kind of like a what's it called? A Delver strategy without Delver now, of course. So we can kind of hold up Flare, although we don't want to lose Tameshi. I don't know what we would want to counter with Flare, where we'd be okay losing Tameshi. Yeah, they're gonna bolt it. Yeah, they're bolting on their upkeep to surveil before they draw. Questing Druid, okay. So now we know for sure what we're facing. We're still gonna have 7 mana, so he might be holding up a Spell Pierce here. It is interesting. I don't see anyone ever fight over Lotus Bloom, and I think that you should fight over it more. There it is. Yeah. I think I'll fight over it. I assume he has a Pierce here, and that's what he was holding up. Yeah. We assumed correctly, but we now got 2 counterspells and an Expressive Iteration, which is a very powerful card out of their hand, but we're not in a great place. Obviously, we lose our Bloom, and they still have a 3/3 in play. So we didn't win that interaction, but I think that was the best way to play that interaction, if that makes sense. We go ahead and play the land out here. It allows us to double spell next turn. We're not trying to whir for another Bloom. With this whir is hopefully our win con at this point, so we want to we can rebuild our hand and have, I guess, blockers, but they don't block this. But if he plays something else like a Questing Druid, we might be able to block it. Excuse me, that probably was loud. We could be close to dead, honestly. Bolt here is very effective. Nope. Got a 2 mana spell. Oh, Murktide. Okay. So we're dead on board. They have flying. I don't think we have an out here. Let's cast an Otter and see what the top 4 cards are. Is there any out? When you're out, like if we drew another Sink that turn, I guess we could bounce the Murktide and survive a little bit, but we really only had 2 turns left. Yeah. Veil does not save us. Puts us to -1. So, good game. The double counterspell there was enough to stop us. Okay, MTGO. Now let me see my cards. Obviously, blue-red, splashing green. Murktide is not on my list. Scream is very effective against their threats. I mean, Murktide still end up having some power to punch through. So that is what it is. Some precedent to bring in Harbingers. That's a maybe because they probably play very few basics, and one of their basics is probably an island. It turns off bolts, iterations, Darcy's, and questing druids. Probably. I think that's probably worth it. Flares aren't as good against a deck with a bunch of removal. And I know I want my mystical, I know I want my forces, I know I want my spell pierces, I kind of want my portable hole and Floodmaw. Maybe I want a commandeer because I can point something back at him. Or his threats, rather. We'll trim a shoal because it's a little more difficult, and we'll trim our pact. Trim a Tameshi for sure because it dies to bolt. What else do we want? I guess Harbinger is kind of like our other win con. We keep all our words in, so we go down to 2 and 2 here. Maybe not the full force screams. Let's do that. We'll run 61. I don't know. Again, I don't pretend to be the best at this deck, just a guy who's played a lot of it. Maybe we'll keep. We got our turn 3 Harbinger, we got Hole and Scream, so we have like interaction and kind of a win con. We're hoping to kind of catch them unawares here. Awkwardly, Harbinger turns off our portable hole, which is funny. Although I could cast it if I wanted to with targeting himself, so he's deciding whether or not to fetch. Now he's going to target us. He decides to fetch or not fetch 3 bubbles. Interesting starting hand. The triple bubble here. Just replace them all. He saw our Thundertrap trainer. I could trainer this turn and still Harbinger next turn because of the ambush. So I think I'll do that. Bolting ourselves is pretty relevant in this matchup, but I want to stay ahead on resources and on board if I can, and this lets me try to do that. So do I want to land or do I want into the Floodmaw? Because I'm going to try to like hold this, I think I want to just get a land that's also a counterspell and see if we can't Harbinger them off a bunch of spells. You know, it's very possible he just floats bolt and floats red and bolts it after it hits the play, but hoping maybe he plays out a Darcy or threat, tries to like kill this Haywire Bite. That's interesting. I can block that. Okay, well, we go for it here. We'll play out the ambush. Second Harbinger is a decent draw too. Our opponent likely has spell pierces and force negations and stuff, so like this gets through. I'm gonna go ahead and swing. If he wants to chump, that's fine. I'm gonna be swinging with this as well. I don't have any free interaction, unfortunately. It would have been nice if I had drawn a like shoal, or I kept in most of my shoals, right? All but one. No flares, but I kept in shoal. Make some Murktide. Good thing we got this one. He can like pierce it. I guess I could just unable to scream it. Honestly. Because then it's just a 1-2. I'll go ahead and try to sink it to Super Hit when we drew another land. See if this eats a spell pierce, and then I'll just unable to scream as well. Nope. Okay then. Now he has to work to make another Murktide to fill his graveyard. Got a 5-turn clock, although when he blocks it makes it a 6-turn clock because it also gains 2 life. Yep, he saw the writing on the wall. Interesting. Probably had a handful of counter magic. That is how you win with Harbinger. It's part of why I love it. The secret second win con rather. So the question is, do we keep them in for game 3? Assuming they probably gotta fetch a basic mountain pretty early in game 3. Do we just let the fear of that mean they fetch poorly and set us up to hopefully have better blue interaction? If we sideboard it out, we probably bring in like 1, 2, 3, 4 density of win cons, or Tameshi or Shoal. Commandeer. Act as more protection. Oh, I don't have to bring in more. Let's go like that. Let's see what happens. Only 2 lands, but we have double Thunder Trap, and they're not likely to counter this. I think we'll keep on the draw. Oh, I guess I might actually show a 1-drop here. No. If it was Darcy, I would have shouled it. Oh, would have been worth it. Still will be worth it if he goes for a Darcy. Another unable to scream. Okay. Well, we need to draw a couple lands here, although a Lotus Bloom would have been a nice draw there instead of you. Yeah, okay. I can play that. Yeah, his own deck. Digging for something. I liked what he saw. So he can't fetch a mountain. Maybe I should have kept in the Harbingers. He just doesn't have enough red fetches. Wonder if this will eat like a counterspell? I guess I could counter a counterspell. A spell snare. I'd rather not. I'd rather this Thunder Trap resolve. Cool. We don't really have that great of a hand. And, oh, do I take the Flare? I really want the Flare, but I need lands or I'm never going to get this cast, so. We'll take that one. Bolt? It is a bolt. That's a pretty aggressive bolt, but I mean, I guess I typically play Flare Denial, but that's part of why I sideboard Flare Denial out. I feel like that's really aggressive after seeing Harbinger. I think he has to have an answer for Harbinger right now. We'll play Thunder Trap again. Counterspell? Counterspell Snare? Counterspell. Great. Them not having a threat is nice though. Like we're fighting with counterspells, we're trading resources. We're equal in hand right now. We just don't want to miss our land drop right here. Nice. Some precedent for just jamming this, honestly. They don't have 3 cards in hand. Wish I had a Whir, because I could protect the Whir with Force. I think because there's no clock, I'm not going to force him to have it. If, like, you know, if I'm facing Dimir Frog and right now he has a Frog in play, I just jam this. But because he doesn't have that or any, you know, way that we know of to, like, gain card advantage, I think we're fine to go longer and wait till we, like, craft a hand. So another counterspell, interesting. This was for Harbinger, which is interesting. I mean, it hits all our creatures, but I don't know that he brought this in game 2, and I think he brought it in game 3. If he plays another land here, I'm probably jamming Charbelcher, because he's only holding 2 cards. I assume he plays Consign, though, and we know he has Spell Pierce, but he didn't play the land out. We're still hitting our land drops, so I'll wait until I can, like, play around a Spell Pierce, probably. There's obviously the potential he casts a few spells and changes what we're doing here, but no threat benefits us in the long run. Because eventually it's like the fact that our spells are lands means once we have, you know, if we're both sitting here with 7 lands in play, I'm at an advantage because then my lands turn into spells and his lands are always just lands. Makes a big Murktide. So this one, Unable to Scream, is not as good against because he would still have 5 power, but it saves us 3. Only 2 cards in hand. I assume one of them's Consign. But if he has 2 counter spells, I'd rather him use, not rather, but he's gotta like use one on this no matter what. And the Scream will buy me, gives me 3 turns instead of 2 plus any burn spell. Hard cast Force. Okay. We'll do that. Maybe I should have kept that. It's hard. I'm at 6 mana. I'm close to where I could. One more I can whir for Belcher. I don't have that many turns though. Baying might have given me a turn or pitched a force, but sink into stupor. That's way better. We'll go for this on their upkeep. Again, the fact that my... Now, if he might try to just replay it, I think I have to counter this. Like, yes, ideally this is protecting our combo, but this is drawing him 2 cards at this point and becomes a threat, so I just, like, stopped his 2 for 1, and he's going to make a Murktide, yeah. This Murktide's still smaller than the one we had Unable to Screamed, but we only have 3 turns, so... Ooh. Of his 2 cards, is it Force plus a blue card, or is it any other counterspell? I'm going to bet that it's not Force plus blue card. Okay, so we know he has a Murktide he can't quite cast yet. A Tamiyo, that is unfortunate. That is a good card advantage soon. So we gotta draw something sooner rather than later. That's not what we wanted. That's part of why we sideboard out Lotus. Obviously, when we get it turn 1 and we want it with Tameshi, but maybe we just sideboard out Lotus Tameshi completely in a matchup like this. I don't know. Clue token is so obnoxious. So he gets to draw 2 cards a turn to our 1. We're empty-handed and he has 3 unknowns plus a Murktide. Do I want to just try to bounce a Shaman now? Do I want to wait for him to try to cast the Murktide? I don't know. I think I'll go ahead and just try to bounce this one now. I could, bounce Tamiyo, but either one's just getting recast. This one actually saves me some life, and he doesn't get to surveil. But, I mean, this is a powerful card. Maybe I should have stopped him getting Clue Token. Oh, Hangavan. Wow. Didn't expect that. This probably won't resolve with 4 unknown cards. Spell Stinger. It's not good against any of my combo pieces, though. I don't know. It obviously hits my dudes, but opponent effectively drawing 3 cards a turn now. And ramping. Yeah, I don't know if we're going to win this. He got our Portable Hole, which is useless at least. Oh, we got a lot of mana, but doesn't really do a whole lot for us. I think we unfortunately lose this match. I think I should have kept the... He's got to consign our suspend trigger, okay. Didn't need to replicate. I don't have any cards in hand, so could have saved a mana there, but... So he has a counter or bolt for this, and then he gets to untap and make a Murktide next turn, and flips his Tamiyo if he wants to. He has 6 mana, so he could do both. Doesn't want to flip the Tamiyo, wants another card now. Bloom is stuck in exile. Wish I had an artifact in the graveyard. Oh, he can target Unable to Scream. I will definitely block this Ragavan. Huh. fully expected some burn spell. I guess if he had bolt, he would have just bolted it before he had another Ragavan in hand. Okay. Murktide coming down? No Murktide. Interesting. I need white mana. Hey, look, that's white mana. Although I kind of want to cast it. They don't stay tapped. Hold Tameshi back. If this Tameshi actually survives, it would be a Christmas miracle. Really wish I had one of my white. I mean, I have 5 white lands. I wish I had one of them before I played it. Not swinging the Ragavan. That's a good benefit for us. Man, he's drawn so many cards. How does he not have a bolt? Wow, it's magical Christmas land. So I pay to. I want to bounce back this Springs. I get to draw a card. And I think when Scream comes to play, I can just target one of his dudes. And I'm obviously going to hit this Temur. He's going to surgical my Scream in response. Well, I would. I can sink it to super surgical, but he could just pay 2 life again. It's obviously not worth it to spend 3 mana and this card just to shock him once. Yeah, I guess that's fine. I only have the 1 Scream in the graveyard. Shoot. I really want to draw another one. Or just a... He's exiled 1 Belcher and a Bloom and a Hole. Why'd everything get exiled? Why couldn't something be in my graveyard? Well, I get an extra draw at least. Where's nice? I guess I can try to whir for... What do I want to do here? Specimen is kind of nice because he can save a Tameshi from a bolt. Sink could try to protect my whir. If I play either one now as a land, next turn I can try to whir. I can't whir for 7 and hold up protection, but I could whir for 3 and make a ton of mana and cast a Seagate Reborn, I guess. That's the problem, is I can't protect any of this from counter magic, really. So obviously holding a handful of, like, probably another Consign, another Spell Snare, maybe a Force Negation. What's my best play? Opponent, what's my best play? I think I'm going to play this out as a land, and I think I'm going to pass for now. Seek the Beast. I'll jam word and see what happens. I guess I shouldn't do this now. That was a mistake. We need a counterspell. Okay. He hit cast into fire, which means he could swing with Ragavan now. And play a Spire Bluff Canal. He doesn't swing. Interesting. He always can do 2 damage, right? Well, what do we want to draw? We want to draw Belcher, ideally. Unable to screen. I hope they don't have a Force Negation. -3 her to get an instant or sorcery card. Which probably would be Consign or Counterspell, I guess. Ambush is interesting, and I can cast it. I think we keep our lands because we're at 7 mana, so we have enough to cast Belcher, hold up Sync, or Activation. And maybe we get to Razor Ambush. It says, or blocking creature. If I swing, does he just double block? Probably not worth it, because he also gets -1. Man, I wish we drew it now. They only have 3 mana up. They probably hold like Counterspell plus Consign or something, but still. Feels like we're so close, and if the Belcher ends up in the graveyard, then we still have enough mana to just buy it back the next turn, so I just need to sink the Force Negation and then let him consign it or whatever. Questing Druid's coming out. Seems true. I don't want to bounce that because he gets to then seek the Beast again, and I'd rather that not happen. He's buying back Surgical. Don't want to respond to that. Can I? What is he going to hit? Probably Whirs? He should hit Whir. He should hit Whir. Does he sack this or does he go to 10? I don't know. I don't think it really matters. Might have to go to 9 now. Really surprised this game has gone as long as it did, honestly. Go ahead and do this. He's probably like, what the heck? Of course. Interesting. Doesn't want to fight over that at all? Gonna play his Murktide. Oh, you're gonna make all my lands mountains? I'd rather you didn't do that. That is unfortunate. But can't really stop it. He can just let this. Oh, he did. Okay. Just a memo here. If you're the opponent, let this resolve and just recast Magus of the Moon. Don't waste another card. You just let me. Like you're 2 for 1ing yourself. He had the mana to just cast it again. If you cast it again, you know that I guess my Belchers are still alive, so maybe he wanted to keep counter magic, but I don't know. Comical. This would have been great last turn, but this turn it does nothing. So I think we're definitely dead. I was just saying I'm really surprised this game has gone this long, that this Tameshi has survived. We had some multiple draws to outs there, I feel like, even though he drew, 8 extra cards or something with Tamiyo? Maybe not 8, but more than 3. I think he should just attack. I guess not with everything. Yeah, I guess you don't want to attack with Ragavan, but yeah, we don't really have it out anymore. We technically can cast this, but are we just dead on board? We block there, 2, 4, 5, 2, 4, 5. We're not technically dead, I guess. Unfortunate. Can also just return a counterspell here. Mystical Dispute. Is he bolting me? Yeah, that's lethal, right? I can block here, take lethal. I can flare it, but then I can't block. Cool. Where's the other Belcher? Very far away. Did I sideboard out too? I did. Interesting. I mean, we fell behind there. Tamiyo was why they won. You could look at a lot of other things or decisions, but the card advantage from Tamiyo is why they won. We managed to stabilize pretty good and give ourselves outs. Like we had multiple draws, or we had chances. Obviously, we didn't know their hand. Maybe we never had a chance. We know that they're holding a Murktide. But all in all, pretty good match there. What time is it? Yeah, we'll go for it. We'll finish out the league, hopefully with another win. Gotta stay at 3-2 better. We're due for a win here. Maybe we'll actually face, a meta deck. I promise that, I'm not like in the nosebleeds. I have a decent. Maybe you're not supposed to see this. I don't know. Structure rating is 1637, which is, not amazing, but it's above average or above starting. I don't know. I'm in a competitive league, you know, we're not playing friendlies, and yet I'm facing so many, like, non-top decks. What are the top decks? Can we just face any of these? I just want to face Boros Energy, Mardu Energy, Domain Zoo, Ruby Storm. Any of those. I'll do this even. Give me the mirror. Ambient Titan, I haven't seen that in, like, years. I haven't seen a Living End, even a Jeskai. I obviously don't love facing Demir. Give me Through the Breach. Give me Gorios. Instead I didn't even face Yawgmoth. I had to face the, like, off-brand Grist Yawgmoth. Ooh, this is so close. Just give me a second land and I'd keep this in a heartbeat. Mulligan. It's like, you wanted lands? Here you go, lands. We'll keep this. We'll obviously get rid of one of our flares. Untapped lands are nice. We just need to draw one land to go for a turn 4 Belcher with some protection. We also could draw... Yeah. Any of our 2-drops would be a nice draw next turn. We can cast it to find that 4th land. And then it makes our flare active. I didn't even pay attention. What are they? Hey, we're facing a red deck, so that's something. Is it energy? No. Can't be that lucky. What the heck is this? Does Jeskai play Gigantha? This one doesn't. Because of Wrath of Skies and Solitude and Supreme Verdict. Is there a one that plays it? Elish Norn? What the heck is going on? Sorry. Trying to figure out what we're facing. This is fine. I mean, it's not ideal, but it's, you know, it's a card. It does things. Maybe we should have kept that so we had a 2-drop for Shoal. I don't know. I guess I'll play this out next. They are Jeskai. A weird Jeskai list. A Jeskai energy list. Yeah, well, I don't know that I would have showed that, honestly. Oh, I can show the thing he casts, correct? What do we reveal? A bunch of lands in that. Do I want to... I can't. I can't show that. Son of a shoal. What a shoaly shoal. Jeskai energy. Jeskai prison. I like prison. Is this prison? No. It just plays 2 temporary lockdown in an otherwise normal Jeskai list. There you are, right on time. I do think we want to play this out. He can't really jump block. Well, he can jump block, but he can't trade. But I like turning on our flare. A little late on the bloom. Actually, we'll keep that, I think. Yeah, I think we'll keep that. We'll play this tapped. So now we have Shoal for 2. We have Flare. We could Shoal for 3, keeping the Flare if we wanted. But ideally, we're going to keep the Specimen to next turn, do the Belcher thing. And ideally, we don't have to cast any counter magic this turn, because they just, whatever, make another threat or something. Cast some Preordains, or I don't know. Anything but Teferi. I mean, yeah, we can interact with this. Do we care? No, I don't think we care. We care about things that can stop this Belcher, so we'll let that resolve. What does he reveal? Good sir, a Flage. Flage is very powerful, but it doesn't kill me dead. Oh, he kills this. Well, I can't use Flare in response to him killing it, so. Oh well. I take 2 more, I go to 20, no, I go to 18. Not too bad. So now we get to... Yeah. Just making sure my draw didn't change what I want to do. Jam this, and even if they have force, which they don't think they can kill us this turn. Famous last words. 2, 4, 5, even if they get enough energy. 6, 7. Flage, maybe 8, 9, 10. Like, I don't think they can get to 15. This is a great sign that they're, digging for some sort of removal. But I can just I control anything. I think I got 1, 2, and 3 covered, so I think we're good. I think we're good. What do you got for 2 mana? You got a Static Prison. No, sir, you cannot have the Static Prison. That one of Unable to Scream main just won us a game. Look at that. Like a professional. The only one drop in the deck. Hey, I can finally use our dang sideboard guide that's been useless because I never face good decks. Okay. We bring in the port. We bring in the screams. We're taking out flares. That makes sense. Saw why that and the packs, yeah, and I have to decide whether or not I want Harbingers. I don't have. Force is on the list as well because they bring in hate cards, like flutes and stuff. We don't want to trim blooms against them. We like our Tameshi blooms. We like to be fast. We like our shoals. They become better because we bring in the screams. So the question is between a Floodmaw Force or 2 more Harbinger, or yeah, I think that's pretty much what the choice is. I saw already like basic plains, basic mountain. I felt like that game. I'm gonna bring in some more flexible answers to their potential hate cards. The other thing is like playing that portable hole. That's another reason why I added the Razor Grass Ambush, like another way to hard cast. Because we do draw it a non-zero amount of the time. And there's 2 white sources. There's one place where the whir is now awkward with this, of course, but we have the bloom already, so I think we keep this. It's pretty good. Fast hand. Tameshi's a great draw with this. Any blue source is a great draw, but we do need to draw likely some form of interaction. Yeah, you know, that's our best turn 1 play. We can actually cast this ambush, I guess, on that. That's not, we don't need that. We don't need more Belcher's deck. We got the win cons covered. Give me interaction now. No more colorless cards. Give me blue cards. Double Ocelot, of course. Triple Ocelot? Nope. Oh man, this gets out of hand so fast. Now I need that Bane Veils. Will you just... Man, my mouse is terrible. So we take 3 life to ambush, but ambush would save us from multiple cat tokens. The other downside of doing it this way is that I haven't drawn another land. But this can't cast Whir anyway. I think I just want to kill an Ocelot Pride. I think that's correct. Matika's Archive. I guess because he's already splashing a 3rd color, maybe the Harbingers are better. I don't know. It also can block this, which is nice, but iteration. Yeah, I can't shoal it. What do we exile to play this turn? Probably a land. Yep, called it. Saved us 1 damage here, plus it's gonna make it would have made a 2nd cat token there. It would have been 1 short of the City's Blessing, so. We drew the land. Oh, math. 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's just assume a Flage is 7 damage. We're putting ourselves to magic number 4. We have a bloom coming off. So if I were for bloom, I could potentially kill him next turn. That's what we're going to try to do. He has to find 1, 2, 3, 4, 6 more damage. Very possible with 3 mana and 5 cards. Didn't fetch, which is interesting. Does he have Bolt Flage or something? I could counter a Flage, which is nice. What is he? What are we doing? What are we doing? He He has Raptor. I can't counter that. What does Raptor hit? Guide of Souls. Okay. What do we... He has counter magic. Not ideal, but he has City's Blessing. What are we gonna see? A fetch for like Consign Replicate likely. Is likely. I mean, I'm dead next turn. I got it. Dead next turn. This is my only turn. Let's see what we can do. He didn't fight over the Whir. He's gotta have something, right? Force. You can't protect me here. 3, 6, 7, 8, 9 mana is not enough. It is enough, right? It's not enough to cast this force and activate the Belcher, unfortunately. Okay, that's a weird one. What are we doing here? It's not counterspell. It's, yeah, just replicated Consign. Shoal doesn't help me here, unfortunately. Is there any out here? I can force the one, but he can replicate it once. I need another turn, and I don't have another turn. I could whir for portable hole. I'm just dead, though. I could hit the Guide of Soul, so he doesn't, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Hit this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, plus 8, 9. I could whir for... Man, I hate Consign to Memory. What a terrible card. I could cast another one, but then I'm dead. I can whir, but then I'm dead. Okay. Didn't make it. Game 2. It was close. It was close. Tameshi would have been nice. It's hard because like I also just want forces. I feel like packs are worth it because they're playing. Well, no, it's not good against Consign. Maybe I'll bring in Commandeers. Cut these completely. Feels wrong. It's a 3-color deck, but I think that's the play. So go down 1 Belcher. Go down 1 Belcher. Bring in another force because it can fight things or pierce. What's my best option here? Dispute. It's flexible, but expensive. Pierce hits most of the things I care about, but I can't hit a creature. By the way, I'm not moving my mouse right now. That wiggling is happening all by itself. My like sensor is wrong, gone bad or something. My mouse is too old, so it's just it floats around. It's really bad when playing a game like Dota 2, which is what I also play with my friends, and get you killed there. I'm not sure. We're doing that. Again, I've changed the deck a little bit so that my sideboard guide isn't fully accurate because I don't have the spell snares anymore, which, are good against this deck, but I guess this is like a fog, which is nice. A Bane Veil would have been great basically any time in that game, right? Do I save the Bane Veil before that reason, or I have a perfect 3 to 4 curve here, so I think I'm going to just play the perfect curve. 3 to 4, Whir into Belcher, but I also, I mean, I already have a Bloom, so I guess I don't need the Whir. But I think I want to do that. No, maybe I save the Whir. I save the Whir in case Belcher gets countered. Oh, turn 1 play is great for us. Would have loved a creature here, a 2-drop, but or some more interaction, but I guess we just have insulation against multiple consigns. I assume we see Raptor here. Probably keep a hand with no 1-drop if you have Raptor. Plus Consign or whatever. Yeah, they're fetching blue heavy. Raptor hits. A guide. Pretty decent hit for them. Not the best. Not the worst. Ooh, I think we... So enabling the Scream the Raptor saves us more damage like next turn, but doing it to the guide means he has a lot less energy and then can't give things flying. I think we're going to go ahead and go for the longer game because I feel like he kept a hand with Consigns. We have the potential to win next turn, so obviously we're going to go for that if we can. I guess, and depending on what he does on the board, if he just leaves mana up, I might pass the turn and whir for X equals 4 on his end step, and then follow it up with a Belcher turn. Doing this in the Guy's Souls also means if he just plays Ocelot, it doesn't start going off right away, which is nice. We have to wait a whole turn cycle before he starts getting tokens, and that's another way that we die fast. So this is a Flage. Tap out for Flage. Nope. The Pariah. Yeah, that was a good play. If I hadn't, he could have played this pre-combat and gotten enough to buff up, so he would have taken a lot more. Is this Consign? You get a Consign there. He is going to Consign there. Okay. Then we play it. Oh, awkward draw here, because of course we have all our colorless cards. And see if he has interaction for it this turn. He has 5 damage. What? Bombardment would be 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Oh, he could kill us this turn, I think. See if Raptor hits Bombardment or removal for our thing. It hits Iteration. So now he sees another 3 cards to hit. I assume he has that 2-mana card that exiles an artifact or pings 2 things. I forget what it's called. He exiled a Heath. Is he slow rolling us? Going for another one. Come on, miss. Another Amped Raptor. Okay. I think we did it, folks. Yay, 3-2. We're not terrible. Yeah, I mean, we're favored against Energy. We should win that matchup. That was a different build. It's interesting. It makes sense for them to splash blue for Consign. And I mean, I love Expressive Iteration. Huge fan of the card. I think it's powerful enough. Obviously, Spell Snare would have been good against this list, but we beat it without it. Our Unable in the main deck was very relevant. I brought in Commandeer because on MTGO it counters Consign when it shouldn't, but it does. Stop moving my mouse. Look at it. I'm not touching it at all. It's very infuriating. I don't know how to fix it. I tried changing some settings or updating the drivers or whatever, but it just counts as like a Microsoft mouse. Like, it's not like a gaming mouse. It's not a controller. It's not complex. Anyways, that's a side thing. We got another 3-2. What would I change to the deck going forward? I love Harbinger Main. I'll probably keep testing lists with it. The Razorgrass felt fine. And I mean, we used it actively there a few times. It felt like, I think both of the times we cast it in this video, we still lost the game, but I'll have to look back and test. Scream Main. Obviously, it won us a match there, but I don't know that you want just a one of. Like, I think it's more flexible to just have the 3 packs main and the 4 Scream in the side. I also kind of miss having a Commandeer main, so maybe we do like Commandeer main. We go down to just 2 packs. And we open up a sideboard slot, maybe for that spell Snare, and I just cut Dispute, so I get to play Snares and Pierces. I like the one Flood Maw. Yeah, just some thoughts. The core of the deck, I think, is set. I like more Teachings than Jawari. I don't think I'm going to miss Jawari the same way I don't miss Salundi. But I want to keep my Bayines for tap lands. So I like our tap lands being this way. And we go up to 13 untapped lands, which is fun. And again, Razor Grass gets hit off of all our creatures, which is important. And yeah, I think more untapped sources when we're actively trying to, especially like Tameshi into Belcher line, right? This doesn't help with the Whir into Belcher line as far as Whir turn 3, Belcher turn 4, because we can't use this in Whir on turn 3. But the Tameshi into Belcher line, as well as just like more often casting our 2-drops on turn 2. With any of our 11 tap lands into ambush, we can get a 2-drop and hopefully find another blue one. I still love Shoal. I love Whirs. I love the deck, but I personally like Harbingers. I like having a main. I like playing 4. I think that's powerful, but what I say, like, I'm not saying I think that it is the best version, you know. But yeah, please give me a like, give me a subscribe. There is a primer with a sideboard guide. It is the list that it is relevant for is linked next to it, which is without Harbinger's Main, but and the slightly different sideboard with the spell snares. But I mean, we saw there. Obviously, spell snare is great against that list. There were so many 2-drops, and you know I might be wrong to not be playing Consign or spell snare in my list. I just don't like this card. I don't want to play with it or against it. Spell snare, I'm a big fan of. I just keep facing wonky off decks and felt like Pierce was going to be a better flexible card than Snare on average. Also, it feels like more and more we're getting to a place where Subtlety might be played again, but we shall see. This is also a fun 1 of or 2 of I wanted to try in the sideboard, so maybe I cut Harbingers and we'll test a Karn list or main counterspell list, something like that. But have a great day, night, morning, wherever you are, and yeah.